guys, welcome to a new thing we're going to try on the channel for a little bit. Long story short, if you don't know, I'm a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And while scrounging kind of Master Duel, because I was kind of bored of the deck I was playing, I came across a list of nearly 200 common and rare decks. Unfortunately, the credits for that list is long, like 30 people, so I won't be able to give a shout out to everybody, but instead I will include it down in the description, so please go check them out if you're interested in any of these decks that you're going to see here for however long we do this. It's a massive list. Big props to the people who made it. Thank you guys for including all of the deck lists, because that makes my life so much easier than being like, oh, we just built this deck. And I figured it would be fun to take some of these random decks, because I just have a lot of material, and scrounge through and try to see how well each deck works and each deck doesn't on our way up through silver. If these decks do well enough, maybe we'll try gold in the future. But for now, I figured silver is a good place where meta isn't constantly around, and these common and rare only decks get a chance. Today we're going to be trying out a deck, I believe on the list it's officially called Magical Dolls, with the Shadolls and Magistus cards. So Shadolls are a series of flip effect, mostly spellcaster monsters, who get an effect when sent to the graveyard as an effect, and an effect when they flip. For example, Falco here, when he flips face up, lets us target a Shadol in the graveyard and special summon it, and if he is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, he can special summon himself instead, but they can only get one effect per turn. The Magistus cards are all based around using their extra deck monsters as equip spells to gain various benefits. For example, Iwas here, when he's equipped to one of our monsters, gives us 1,000 attack and defense, and he can equip himself to our opponent's monster to steal it. Our big payoffs seem to be, to me, using these Shadol monsters as our fusion materials to quickly amass advantage using their various effects, and using Iwas to steal our opponent's monsters while making it big. We are running 1 Shadol Falco, 3 Hedgehog, 3 Squamata. Squamata destroys a monster, and if he's sent to the graveyard, acts as an extender by letting us send any other Shadol to the grave. 1 Dragon, 2 Ariel, 1 Crowley. Crowley is probably our biggest monster, so that's mostly why he's here, but he's also good fusion fodder. Zoroa the Magistus Flame, he can equip a Magistus from our extra deck to him, which makes him very nice, and he can revive a Shadol, one of our level 4 lowers for rank for an Xyz if we need it. 3 Riliona, 3 Endymion, 2 Beast. Beast is mostly just going to be used for fusions as a quick +1. 3 Magistus Invocation. Like I said, our main payoff seems to be summoning Iwas and then stealing an opponent's monster with Iwas' effect, and then the monster will gain a 1,000 point boost, so a fusion spell is nice. 1 Magistus Vritra? I don't know. This is Monster Reborn, but only for our Magistus monsters. It's not bad, and it keeps our Magistus monsters in the back row from being blown up. 1 Nef Shadol Fusion. Shadolls also like to fuse, which is why we're running their 1 fusion that's like rare. But unfortunately most of their fusion cards are locked away, so we're using this one. Let's just declare an attribute when we equip it to a Shadol, and the Shadol becomes that attribute, and then we can fuse to make a Shadol monster. 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, one of the only spell and trap destructions in common and rare. 3 Torrential Tribute, when the monster is summoned, destroy everything on the field. It's just good. 2 Sinister Shadow Games. The list calls for 3, but I wanted to change it up just a little bit. This card lets us send a Shadol from our deck to the grave, and then if we have any Shadolls on the field, we can flip them face up. This will trigger the monster's effects in deck, so for instance, say we send Hedgehog, we get to search a monster, and then if we have a monster like Beast on the field, we can trigger Beast's effect. It's not bad, but sometimes they're just not always useful. Ref Shadol Incarnation is Monster Reborn for our Shadolls, but it puts them face down to use their effects, and then we can banish it to change a face up monster face down, or face up, face down, face up. It's fine. And then this is my own inclusion, Shadol Core. It gives us a 1900 defense point, 1450 attack point, a monster with any attribute, and then if it's into the grave, we can use a Shadol monster in our we can add a Shadol spell or trap from our grave to our hand. It's just fusion fodder for both the Magistus fusion and for Shadol one. I thought it was neat, so I included it. 3 Iwas, 2 El Shadol Anolitis, Anoyotilis, whatever. Shadol and a 1 water monster. Neither player can special summon from the hand or graveyard. And if it's into the grave, we can add a Shadol spell trap from our grave or hand. It's not the best, but it's one of the only 2 Shaddolls that are common and rare, so we run it. 1 Stardust Charge Warrior, we have a couple of tuners like Falco, so sometimes you just want the +1 and it can attack all of our opponent's special summon monsters, so not terrible. 1 White Aura Dolphin, once again we're just looking for commons and rares we can summon. 1 Avenging Knight Parshath, which one of these is a tuner? One of these, it's Zora. Zora is a tuner and he can revive at level 4, so sometimes we can just get a free level 8, and this is a pretty decent one. 1 Rhapsody and Berserk, we're never summon this, but just in case, I guess. 1 Super Quantum Mech, it flips a monster face up to face down, so sometimes it's useful. Malevolent Sin lets us banish a monster, and then when it attacks, it gains 300 attack points. And lastly is Nina Ruru, the Magistus Glass Goddess. When she's equipped, our monster gets 2 attacks. I can attach a material to target 1 level 4 or higher spellcaster in my grave, add it to hand, and then while she's equipped, I can destroy a Magistus card in my spell and trap zone to destroy 1 spell or trap in my opponent's zone. So, she's worse than Iwas, but she's okay. Sometimes we'll already have Iwas on the field and we'll want to use like Endymion or Zoro's effect to get another thing, and a second attack isn't bad. But with that, we're going to jump into the duels, and hopefully we're going to win. Well, by the way, we're going to do best 2 out of 3, but since Master Duel is a best of 1 format, it's going to be 2 to 3 different decks, so hopefully we'll win. Alrighty guys, so picking back up where we left off, I realized that after about 2 duels in that showing the replays would probably be a little bit better to not make this, an hour long. So this is our first match. We are up against Trickstars. They're going first, and luckily we opened up with Youlean, which will let us search off our invocation from our deck, and she gets us a free banish later on the line. Alright, they're going to quickly, using 1 card, summon out a Holly Angel, and that's where they end. So clearly not a crazy good one. Picking up Torrential Tribute is nice as a backup play. So we'll summon Youlean, get our invocation, use invocation to fuse off with our Squamata, and in order to summon Iwas. Squamata will trigger. We trigger Iwas here. I think we were just trying to combo chain block grab the point. We steal their Holly Angel, which now becomes 3,000. We send Beast. Beast lets us draw, and we go hit indirectly. And that's all we do because we have Torrential and we've already used our normal summon. So they pick up, they summon Licorice and end. Not really sure what they were planning there. Honestly, I think that we just got nervous here because they burn us for that, and then we Torrential. I don't think there was any point to doing that. I just got scared because they had 2 monsters. But that's fine because we have another Youlean. Youlean searches Invocation. I think I've seen this one before. Invocation sends Squamata. Hey, I have seen this one before. Yeah. So we make Iwas again. Use Squamata to self-mill Beast. Draw a card. Set Torrential. But this time we're going to use Crowley to discard Hedgehog, especially with Crowley. We use our Youlean in the grave to equip it with our already used Iwas. And now we hit directly for 2,000 and 2,800. So we got our opponent on the ropes already, and we've only taken 200 points of damage, and all they do is set 2 in our turn. So using Reincarnation, they banish our hand and give us a new one, and they can later use it to revive a Trickstar. I don't really care about that, so I summon Endymion and equip Crowley with Nina Ruru. Attack and destroy the first monster, and then I attack for this one, and they reincarnate Holly Angel. Not thinking about why they might reincarnate summon Holly Angel, I do a stupid, and decide to attack directly with my Iwas, and then they Korobane, and Korobane jumps to 4,000, and we lost Iwas. Should have gone to main phase 2 and just taken it, but I didn't think about that. Using Endymion, we triggered that card, draw, and cycle. So they get Holly Angel, and Holly Angel can destroy our Endymion, but next turn we can just give ourselves another Iwas with Crowley and keep going. Zoroa in our hand will also let us equip him with another card. It can either be Nina Runu or Iwas, but I figured just in case I have another Korobane, Iwas makes sense. Triple Iwas up Crowley for 4,800. Even if you have a Korobane, that's game. Alright, game 1 went pretty well. Let's go into game 2, and hopefully we'll do something well. It's silver, so maybe a buy, maybe something good, who knows? I know, because like I said, these are me just going over the replays. And unfortunately, our second match is up against Drytron. Luckily, we got the coin flip, which means that we get to go first, and they can't just make the no combo. Drytron is a deck that was formerly meta about 5 months ago in Master Duel, so of course we can take them. Don't worry about it. Drytrons are a series of ritual monsters that you use high attack points instead of levels to ritual summon, and they like to make a monster that just lets you discard and stop any card all the time. Just as much as you want. As long as you have cards in your hand, you discard and just say no. We're actually going to speed up here because this combo takes a minute. So they're going to banish and start searching. This is when I realize, oh, I'm in trouble. They Drytron Nova, summon Itani, then use Alpha. Alpha will get them a monster with their Medionis. Aldiba? I forget that card. Searches Medionis, which look at this beautiful prismatic. They're going to go into Mu Beta Fafnir through XC summon. I get trigger happy here. Should probably not have done this. But we're going to Iwas Mu Beta. Should probably not have done that. Should have waited for one of the bigger for one of the bigger rituals. And that's going to be my downfall. Send their... I think this is Altanin? Yeah, Altanin, which can Monster Reborn, another one, and now they get to summon their 4,000 attack point ritual monster from the grave. That's bigger than our 3,000. But it doesn't really matter because he's a Harpy's Feather Duster, which gets rid of Iwas, which means they get Mu Beta back. And now he can pay 1,000 to get the ritual spell again, and use it to summon out the other 4,000 attack point boss monster from the grave using Mu Beta Fafnir's material because Drytron is stupid. Doing so gives him all he needs to OTK us, and we move on to game 3. Great showcase of our deck, but this is why it's common and rare only. Alright, so we're 1-1, let's see if we can't pick up a win here at the end. Unfortunately, can't do much about Drytron. You know, I mean, it may have been meta 5 months ago, but I really thought our common and rare only deck could definitely beat it. Oh well, at least it can't get any more garbage than that, right? Right. So we're going to set Torrential and Shadal, hoping to pick up a little bit of bonus after we clear out his board, and it's Numeron. You know how I said I couldn't get any more garbage? Maybe I was wrong. Numeron Network, this lets him special summon 4 monsters from his extra deck, all who double in attack points whenever they battle a monster, so we Torrential here. Unfortunately, he didn't use Numeron Network, he used Calling in hand, which means he can still use Network to do the exact same thing, because Network is stupid. Nobody likes Numeron. So now he gets to summon those 4 out, but like I said, they only double when they battle a monster, which luckily means we live this turn. Copium. So we'll keep going. Foolish Burial Goods, interesting. Send the Chaos Ritual. Chaos Ritual lets you, when you use, if you face up Chaos Shunra, which he hasn't summoned, is destroyed, he gets to summon out a monster with 10,000. He searches another copy of the network. Okay, I guess he just needs it, and his monsters get banished. So we are going to use Crowley's effect to special summon him by sending Squamata to the grave and set Falco. This is basically just assurance that no matter what he does next turn, even if he summons the 4 out, I live. He is going to use Engage to search Window Acre because I hate him, I hate him, I hate him. Screw Sky Striker. Send Calling, summon the 4, that makes sense. Now he just needs to attack, and we can bat, or not. I guess we're going to rank up into Shura. This is fine. I mean, it's only got 3 monsters banished, right? Sunya's effect lets him banish all of his monsters, and then on his next turn I'll take 1,000 for all of his banish. Let's take a look at those 3. 3. Oh, right, the first one's got banished too. Uh-oh. Unfortunately, Ariel and a core do not do it. I just have to hope that he forgets to hit the button. Set the core to make him forget, right? Because that's core's ability, is make your opponent suffer temporary amnesia. Summon Sunya. Come on, you forgot, and he didn't forget. And that's going to be it. So that's 1 and 2. Could be worse. Unfortunately, Drytron does beat us. So, alright, so once again, here's the deck. So we went 1 and 2, picking up our first loss of the series. That does kind of suck. But I still like the deck. I think that it's a little bit too slow, and you are reliant on common and rare only staples like Torrential or Mystical Space Typhoon to do anything. While probably core was not as good as Sinister Shadow Games at the end of the day, Sinister Shadow Games would have let us send Dragon to pop the field spell, which would have let us live 1 more turn. But what are you going to do? I didn't know that. So we'll start off with a loss. I think this deck has a lot of potential, but maybe should stick to common and rare only. Next time we'll be back with a new deck, so until then, I hope you'll have a good one. Goodbye.